Hey darlings, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my undergraduate experience. I'm going through my transcript, I'm telling you about all of my classes, and I'm telling you my grades. I'm spilling tea, okay? This is for anybody who is thinking about going into the major and you don't really know what the course list looks like. And this is also just for somebody who is trying to think about, or just wants to know about the classes before you take them. But let's just get into it because I don't want to take too long, because you know I can talk. During my last SLP Q&A, I had a lot of undergraduate students asking me questions. I realized that I neglect kind of that audience, and I think it's not on purpose. It's more so just because I started this channel when I was in grad school, so this channel kind of goes along with me of where I am in life. Nonetheless, I'm here, we're doing it, we're talking about it. Okay, so what I have here is a copy of my transcript. I just have it online on my phone. And so I'm just gonna go through each semester up until graduation. You'll also learn that it is not about the journey, it's about the destination. And I know you guys think I said that wrong, but trust me, in this context, it is not about the journey. It's just about the destination. Just get the degree, girl. Just get it. Like, it doesn't matter how you get it. Just get it. So with that being said, I'd like no judgment, please. So I went into college fall 2010, which was almost 8 years ago at this point. So I took 0 CSD classes, 0 speech classes, like none, even though I went in with a decided major. I took 17 credit hours in my first semester in college. My English class, I got an A-. Health and wellness, I got a B. How did I get a B in health and wellness? That's like gym. Well, that's actually not shocking. History, got a B. Individual rights, A-. Leadership class, A. Human society, B-. So I ended my first semester in college with a 3.29 GPA. The second semester of my freshman year, I took a communications class. So this was like Com 201, right? It's like public speaking. It has nothing to do with speech at all. So I got a B- in that class. Environmental health systems and solutions. Hated this class. The teacher was like the Clear Eyes guy, and he didn't have any PowerPoints. He didn't do anything. He just literally was like an auditory like instructor. He just spoke and we just had to write stuff down, and it was just not interesting. I got a C+, no judgment. Math, I got an A. I took Spanish, got a B. I went in with a Spanish minor, so I was like, oh, I'm a B. Like, I had said that I wanted to be a bilingual SLP for a long time. And then by the end of that Spanish class, it was like, I don't need a minor in it though. The theater experience, B+. So I ended the second semester out with a 3.0, just a 3.0 because of that C, because of that man. Going into the fall, so I'm a sophomore now, you know, things are changing. This is actually when I met Jerry. I met him in my sophomore year. My first semester. Honestly, guys, I don't want you guys to think like for 2 seconds just because I have a channel that I talk about speech with and stuff like that. I was not like a scholar. Like, I was not like A, straight A's. I wasn't that, and I wasn't even trying to be it. Like, I wasn't trying to get straight A's at all. I think I kind of grew into my perfectionism because I just wasn't like that. I was like, B's get degrees too. Hey, I just need to pass this class. I don't like C's, but if it was a B, I was okay with it, clearly. I didn't take a speech pathology course until my first semester of my sophomore year. It was the intro to comm disorders, which is kind of like a snooze, I can't even lie, it was for me. It's the introduction to communication disorders, if I can even communicate myself. It's kind of like an overview of everything. They're like, okay, this is speech pathology. This is what you're gonna be getting yourself into. It's literally the basics. You don't get to the nitty gritty till about your junior year, or that's how it was for me. I got a B+, like I said. B's got degrees. Astronomy class, I got an A in that class. Oh, I took a sign language class. That was like the beginning of sign language just because I love sign language. I had an A-. Another English class, B+. Took another leadership class, A+. Health and healing, A-. I ended that semester with a 3.6. That was the first time I made the dean's list. And then spring 12, acoustics and speech science. Also a snooze. It was a snooze in grad school too, honestly. It was like the frequencies that sounds make and the science of it all, kind of like that. And it is important for you to know, because you do need to know like high frequency sound, how it relates to like somebody not being able to hear a certain frequency of sound. So that can kind of help you kind of figure out part of whatever the problem might be with their communication. So it is important, duh, because it's in your program. It's just, it was not my favorite. I made a B, sign language 2, A+, and leadership A, social issues, policy and programs. I made an A. That was a social work class. A related field was social work. So I took a lot of social work classes actually. Human behavior and social environment, A-. Ended that semester with a 369. Going on to my junior year, this was an interesting year. The first speech class was speech language development. I got a B. I honestly don't remember what that class was about. But the class that I do remember is phonetics. And I actually get a lot of questions about phonetics. I loved it. I don't know why people loathe it so much. I loved learning about IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet. Phonetics is a class that's going to teach you all about speech sound production and like where it is and how to basically transcribe it. I got an A in it. Intro to audiology. I got an A in that class. I thought that I wanted to do speech pathology and audiology because I did meet somebody who did both. And then I took intro to audiology and I was like, no thanks. Childhood psychology, got an A. And then this was a required class, which was exceptional child. I made an A+ in that class. So my junior year, first semester, ended with a 3.7 GPA. And then spring 13 came. Okay, so this is the semester that I don't need any judgment for, okay? And this is what I mean. This is where we're gonna learn that it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. Spring 13 semester. Let's get it, you know? I took anatomy. When you take anatomy as an SLP major, you are not taking full anatomy. Everything waist up is kind of like what you'll be dealing with when you're talking about anatomy class. Now, okay, let's just say, I mean, I don't want to tell y'all. Anatomy was an 8 a.m. class, and it was anatomy, and it was hard, and there was a lot going on that semester. So in anatomy, I got a C+. I did what I could. Oral rehabilitation class. Oral. AU, all about when somebody loses their hearing, strategies and interventions that you can do to help them repair or to rehabilitate. It wasn't bad. I got a B. Foundations of language development and instruction. This is not a CSD class. It was an education class. So I was in the class with a lot of future teachers who were just so in love with children, and children couldn't do no wrong. And at that time, I didn't even want to work with kids. I was like more so like, I want to work with adults. I don't want to work with kids. I was just really wasn't into like the crying and the germs, and I just did not want to work with kids. At one point, the professor asked me a question and I was like, no, like, I don't want to work with kids. And when I tell you, like, I became like the most awful person in that class. Like everybody was like, what are you even doing in this class? I'm like, well, let me tell you something. I don't even want to be here. All right, I'm taking this class because it fulfills some of my credit hours. Okay, I'm not trying to be no teacher, and I'm not trying to be no kid SLP. I want to work with adults. But here I am today working with kids. I got a C+ in that class. I hated that class. I hated it. This next class, this was not a good semester. So you can already see I had 2 C+ already. 2 C+ and a B, right? This next class was business statistics. Speech path, don't do math. Like, I don't know a lot of SLPs that are good at math. I don't. Who are like strong in math, who really love math. I personally don't know. That semester, something changed to where we had to take a statistics class. I had to pick up a stats class. I ended up just choosing one, and it was called like quantitative analysis or something. Terrible. When I tell you I was so confused, like I was like, what? It was literally like a whole nother language. So I had to take a dub for that class. And by a dub, I mean a W. And by a W, I mean a withdrawal. Cause it was not. I kind of cried about it. I was hurt by it. But it's either like get the withdrawal or get an F. Like, which one do you want? I tried to stick it out. That's the thing. Like, I didn't just drop the class within the add drop period. I just couldn't get it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to find another statistics class that I can take that is not this hard. My next class was another social work class. It was diversity. Let me tell you why I got a D in the class. I got a D in that class because I stood up for what I believed in and everybody else didn't believe in it. And we got into an argument and the teacher hated me from the get. And that was the bottom line. That teacher hated me because, well, let's just keep it real then. I mean, I went to a PWI. And I'm not saying that this was my problem for even most of my undergrad experience, because it wasn't. But every now and again, I ran into a teacher like this one who just had preconceived notions. Didn't like the fact that I was just as outspoken as other students in my class. Yes, I was the only black girl in my class. We were having like this open discussion that we should not have been having. I don't think it was appropriate for the classroom, even though it's diversity class, it does not matter. Somebody said something about my people. I said something back. And this girl is like saying whatever she's saying. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes on to say, you honestly make me sick to my stomach. Y'all seen that episode of Martin? A little boy lied about Martin being his daddy because he didn't want to go to Arizona. Sorry, I lied to you, Martin. I just didn't want to go to Arizona. Sorry, I lied to you, Martin. The girl was like, you honestly make me sick to my stomach. And I said, honestly, I don't care. I said what I said. Because you said what you said. So we all gonna say something. I had to go to summer school because clearly that wasn't my best semester. So I went to summer school. I took 2 classes. I got A's in both of those classes, so it kind of helped my GPA come back up. The last year of college, I took, my first semester, I took 15 credit hours. I took an intercultural communications course, A+ in that, counseling class, got an A in that. Group counseling, got an A in that. Speech, language disorders, and adults. Loved that class. I got an A, another A in my social work with children and family class. I ended that semester with a 3.8. And we ain't gonna talk about the last GPA. You notice I didn't tell you. My last semester of college, I took 12 credit hours. They were 3 speech classes, 1 math class, which was my second round at statistics. So I took speech language disorders in children. I got a B. Fluency and voice disorder. I got a B in that class. The clinical process, sitting there watching the grad students get to have therapy with people that we didn't get. We never got the chance to have therapy. So I went into grad school without clinical hours. We could only observe. That was my college career academically. Like I said, it's really not about how you get there. It's just that you get there. Like, this is what I'm talking about when people are freaking out about your GPA and you're freaking out about this class and this class. Stop freaking out. Stop. You can do it. It's not going to be easy all the time. You might get a couple C's. You might get a D. You might get a withdrawal all in one semester. It was a rough semester for me. But at the same time, guess what? I graduated in spring 2014 and I started fall in grad school. Grad schools will give you chances, and this is why I keep saying, these are the reasons why you have heard me say on this channel, do it, go for it. Don't be nervous for grad school. Just don't worry about it, because I knew what my transcript looked like, and so did South Carolina State, but they still took me. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not impossible. You might have a rough semester. You might have to go to summer school. You might not graduate in 4 years, but if you want it, you'll do it. So go get it done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with a friend. Why am I doing all of this? See you guys in my next video. Bye, darlings.